of these coins. And the way these charts are going to work, I'll have a series for the other US denominations and their different design variations um, that will come after this one. But for today, I'll just be talking about the half cent, which is the only finished chart so far. So I'll start with the first iteration of this coin, which was the first half penny minted in the United States. This would have been the Liberty Cap facing left design. If you look here, it's pretty obvious why they called it that. It's a depiction of liberty with the Liberty cap on a stick. And this coin had a mintage of 35,334. The motifs, as I said, are primarily liberty. This is before they started putting presidents on coins. It would be just various depictions of liberty. And on the reverse of the side of the coin, on the reverse side of the coin, you have the wreath in the middle here, with half cent in the center and United States of America all around it. Now, an interesting part of this design is they actually include a fraction over here, 1 over 200, rather than just having 0.005 there. They use fractions, which is something that early U.S. Low denomination coins used. So the designer for this coin is said to be Henry Voigt, but there is some confusion about whether he only engraved it or whether he was also the designer of the coin. The next coin I'll be featuring here is the Liberty Cap facing right. Very similar themes here, which I'll get to, but first of all, this was minted from 1794 to 1797. This in contrast to the first iteration, which was only minted for 1 year in 1793. This one had a slightly longer runtime. The mintage here was also a lot higher, 350,000, so 10 times higher than the last iteration. The motifs here are fairly similar, like I said. You have the Liberty cap on a stick also. That's for the obverse. The reverse keeps the wreath. Very minor, if any, design alterations. I can see the wreath is a little bit different, but it's the same general idea. And here you can actually see the fraction a lot more clearly, the 1 over 200. Now, next up, you have the draped bust. Now, this was minted from 1800 till 1808, with a mintage of 3,416,950 and 950 coins over this runtime. The motifs here are fairly similar. You have Liberty, although no cap this time. And you have on the reverse, you have the same wreath with a fraction there. The designer for this one is Robert Scott, and he was also the designer for the previous coin. So after 1808 and 1809, they switched to the classic head. The classic head was minted from 1809 to 1836, much longer runtime, but the overall mintage was similar to the last one, to the draped bust, at around 3.5 million. Motifs also similar, although obviously the Liberty here looks a lot different. Curly hair, she has the Liberty headband over here, with stars surrounding her this time. We have 7, 10, 13 stars, probably representing the 13 original colonies. And of course, on the backside, you have a different version of the wreath. but without the fraction, notably. Um, Here, the designer was John Reich, and yeah, this design lasted up until 1836. No coins minted until 1840, and I'll get to that a little bit later. But for the next design, it started out in 1840 till 1850 and lasted till 1857. It's the braided hair design. The mintage here was about 500,000. Motifs are similar, although different design for Liberty, different design for the headband. Her hair is actually braided here, which is the reason for that name. The reverse is fairly similar to the last one. Wreath, half cent, United States of America, no fraction. The designer here was Christian Gobrecht. And this was the end of the half cent's life. After this, it was discontinued in 1857 due to the Coinage Act of February 21, 1857, due to its lower purchasing ability. And basically, it wasn't as useful in trade anymore and daily commerce. Also, the copper price was increasing relative to the face value of the coin. So they stopped it, and it has never come back since. There has never been a halfpenny since this one. So next up I have here is the mintage figures. So throughout the lifespan of the halfpenny, these were the mintage figures. You can see they're most popular from around 1803 till around 1813. That's when the bulk of these was produced, and then they progressively less and less of them are minted, perhaps reflecting the decreased demand. And I've seen some sources online that claim that there was a general sense that this coin was unpopular. So that was one of the reasons why it was scrapped. So yeah, very interesting coin. I don't personally own one, but I would love to. And interestingly, depending on what design you have, some of these are extremely rare to find. Many of them don't have many copies still in existence today, so these can run up into some higher prices, more than I'm willing to pay at the moment. Especially this first one over here, the Liberty Cap facing left. But as usual, just beware of counterfeits if you want to buy these at some point. So yeah, this is a sort of trial run for the video. I will create another one probably for the same chart but with more information and with better narration, hopefully. So yeah, let me know if you like this. Thank you.